Hey guys, happy Sunday to everybody. I am outside this morning before it gets, it's already extremely hot. Clearly the whole US is having a hot streak. And so I know everybody else is feeling it as well. So I wanted to bring Lola outside and make a video with her before it got too horrible. It's pretty horrible, but you know, I'm not going to complain. This is not me complaining. Just stating the facts that it's super hot, and if you hear background noise, it's because dogs are out, people are out, everybody's out walking before it turns super uncomfortable. But it is steamy hot already, and it's not even noon. But it's gorgeous out. We had like a rash of storms that rolled through yesterday. I think we're gonna have more because that's generally what happens when it's super hot out. But the humidity, that's what's really at its heightened peak right now. That's killing people. Luckily, I have air conditioning, so I'm not suffering too bad because my house is nice and cool. But I'm gonna put the shade up so it's not, she's only got a little bit of sun on her. But I'm trying to keep her shaded while also sharing this gorgeous baby with everybody. And just wanted to come on and chat with you before I got super busy with my day. And that's the neighbor's dog. I apologize for the barking. I have one of those. I don't allow my dogs to bark. I'm usually very careful about, you know, if my dogs are outside, making sure they're not barking over and over again. But isn't there always the neighbor that's noisy? Doesn't everybody have a neighbor like that? Or is it just me? But anyways, they are great neighbors though, so I shouldn't complain. We have wonderful neighbors. But anyways, I wanted to pop on and just kind of chit chat with you guys. I wanted to talk about, like, does the beauty of this art ever get old? Does it really ever get old? Especially for me being, you know, such a long time collector that has experienced so many. I've been so lucky, so fortunate to experience so many beautiful works of art in this hobby. I'm spoiled, in fact, because I've seen, I think, the best that's out there. And I know that there's always up and coming new artists that, you know, pop up all over the place. I get that. But I will say that still to date, I feel like I've just experienced a lot of beautiful, beautiful artistry in our hobby. And I'm so grateful for that. But does it ever get old? Does it wear out? Do I get to a point where, you know, I stop being thrilled by the beauty of this art? I don't know. That's why I'm here to chat with you guys. And her hair got messed up when I was putting this over her head because it's Jamie K, FYI, it's Jamie K onesie. And unfortunately, the opening is not very big around the neck, so it's like squeezing it over her poor little head. And I realized that, you know, now I've kind of messed up her pretty hair that I had nicely done, but oh well, it is what it is. It'll bother me, but I'll get over it. But anyways, I often wonder though, quite honestly, and I know that there are a range of, you know, collectors who have collected either shorter times, and there may be people that watch that follow me that have collected as long as I have, or, you know, longer. And I'm curious, do you ever worry about it, you know, just being so blah after you've seen it all, or does the excitement stay with you? I think for me, I want to say that I always try to do things with my dolls or relating to my dolls that keep things fresh. I think that's how I've managed to stay constantly in awe of the art. And it could be varied. What is it that I do? Like, you know, it's the fact that I make videos with them. It's the fact that I take time just to really appreciate them. Like a lot of times if I'm not making a video and I just need a, you know, a moment per se, I'll go in and I'll look at the art, especially like of this baby. Like Monroe's my more interactive baby, where I pick her up, I hold her. But this baby, I stand and look at her details in awe of her amazing lifelike details. Like, it's the combination of the sculpt. The sculpt still, I don't ever tire of seeing the Laura by Bonnie Brown kit done and brought to life by so many different variations. I love them all. I think it's because I truly adore the sculpt so much, because to me it's like newborn perfection. It's, I think, for me, only my opinion, and this is not going to be the same with everybody, it is the best newborn realism of all of Bonnie's work thus far. And she's, and not to say that all of her other work is not perfection, but to me, it's this particular sculpt that I see the most realism in, and it just never gets old. And that's a rare thing, especially in a more super popular kit that everybody and their brother has. Let's face it, you know, the more I see, usually I'd be like, ugh, I'm sick of it. And that has happened to friends of mine. But I am not there yet. I am not to the point where I'm sick of this baby in any way, shape, or form. I have pondered selling her, only because she's a huge investment. And I went through, you know, having to have one of my dogs had eye surgery, and that was very expensive. So I kind of thought about, oh gosh, I felt a little guilty having a reborn with that amount of money sitting in, and then also having Monroe, that is also a huge investment. So I have those struggles. But when it comes back down to it, when I go in and I look at her, because she stays in the nursery for the most part, I'm in awe. I'm in awe and wowed, and, you know, just, she melts my heart, because she's just such a perfect little newborn. Like, the feet, her feet are absolutely freaking out of this world amazing. It's also the sculpting combined with the way that she was painted. Her artist, I can't say enough about. Minty Anchor Babies is just, I love how she painted this baby. I just do. And it may be because, well, one, I have a little foot fetish obsession with little baby feet. I love them, love them, love them. But the way that these are perfectly pinkly painted with all the details, the tiny little nail tips, like, oh my gosh, you guys, like, look at the tiniest, most perfect little nail beds. Little tips. I'm not a big fan of French manicured looking dolls' hands or fingers and toenails. But the way that she paints them, they are not done that way. And it's also how Claire Taylor paints her silicone dolls. They're tipped, but very tiny, like the perfectly tiniest tip that is the most natural looking nail bed. Like, it's crazy to me. And this artist also is able to achieve that. There's nothing like, they shouldn't look like they've had a French manicure. That's just my preference. I don't care for that look on dolls, newborns, especially newborn baby dolls, because it's not realistic. It's not what baby's nails come out of the womb looking like, at least mine didn't. So I'm just, it's one of those little finite details that I always come back to, and I'm like the love, the passion, the artistry is like, boom, it's there again when I just notice these little perfect little details. Every crease is painted perfectly. Like, just literally every detail on this baby is stunning. And I come back to appreciating that. And that, for me, truly never gets old. It really doesn't. I know that not just I, but all of us, we fall in love and in and out of love with dolls when new ones come around, right? Like, that's the whole draw sometimes of, you know, the reborn hobby, is that we fall hard, we fall fast for certain babies, and then sometimes that leaves us pretty quickly. And that has happened to me many a times, I have to say. You know, I've had a lot of dolls come and go. And sorry for the plane noise. Oh my gosh. Isn't that just the way, though, when you make a video, all of a sudden everything gets noisy? At least my air conditioning unit hasn't started running, because when that kicks on, it's really loud. But anyways, it really is just we fall in love, we fall hard. And sometimes it lasts for these dolls, and sometimes it really just is momentary, you know, at that time. And then you move on and you love something better. That certainly happened with Monroe, but I haven't fallen out of love with Monroe. And for a reborn, I have to say that this baby is also, it's a similar feeling. It's not the same. It's not the same for me. I don't think I'll ever love a doll and be so attached to a doll. Yes, I said I love her. I love Monroe. I will probably never be that attached to another doll. I mean, I kind of hope that I will in the future, but I can't even imagine having the connection, the feeling I have for Monroe. This baby's a close second though. And it's just different for me with reborns versus a silicone, because silicones truly have the movement of a living baby, the feeling of a living baby. And no matter how beautifully weighted, perfectly weighted, how perfectly painted, it's a touch thing. It's definitely a sensory thing for me that makes the need to have the silicone as my main source of enjoyment in this hobby is because of the total package of realism. And that, you guys, never gets old. Like, I literally, in the middle of like some of the craziest weeks I've had lately, I will just go over to Monroe and literally just kind of pull, like, I don't know, squish up her little legs and like draw them up to her tummy just to feel her silicone. And I just literally, it melts me. Kind of like looking at her details. So no, to me, it never gets old. It hasn't yet. And I'm, you know, more than 20 plus years in, right? So longevity is there if you continue to not overstimulate and I don't know, for me, it's like a delicate balance. As long as I don't overdo it, because there are times where I feel like I just am too exposed and too, I guess overstimulated is a good way to put it, that I just do too much in the doll world and I need to draw back because I need to miss, here it is. Here's where I think it makes sense the most to me. I feel like I need to miss my dolls to continue loving and appreciating them at a level that keeps me interested all the time. Does that make sense? It may not make sense to some of you, because some of you might literally love overload baby dolls, reborns, and I go through periods of time where that is definitely the case for me. But I have found that as the years have gone on and I'm not buying and bringing home new dolls all the time, that in order to keep myself interested, I have to miss them. So I take breaks from them, not like long breaks, but like it could be just a day, it could be a week, and then I'm renewed to want to spend time with them. Hopefully that makes sense. And I think that's how it keeps it fresh, and that it does not get old and boring. And, you know, especially when you have and hold on to the same dolls over time, you know, the fear is always there. Like, will I get bored of this? Will I not care anymore? Like, I don't want to sell the doll, but I'm also kind of like, well, I've had the doll forever, so the newness is worn off. That is always a concern for me, especially as long as I've had Monroe. It truly is something that I think about and that I worry, but then I always come back to, I miss her. I could never box her up and sell her to anybody. I just can't envision myself letting her go at this point, even more than 4 years later. You know, so that's, I think, what I appreciate about these wonderful works of art. They just, they're amazing. Like, look at this baby. Look at her. Is she not the most precious little thing you've ever seen? I love all the Lauras. I can't begin to tell you how much I love all the Lauras out there, you guys. I'm obsessed still. But hopefully you've been able to see some of her details while we've been sitting here chatting. I just, these little toes, these little toes. And no, I don't generally sit here with my doll in the sun, but I just want to show you. And that's with direct sun on her little feet. And sometimes when you put direct sunlight on a painted surface, it looks painted. This baby, it does not. Brings her to life even more. It's amazing. But look at those perfect toes. Oh, I love them. Perfectly tipped, perfectly painted. Perfection. This baby is perfection. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop rambling. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. yeah, I'm enjoying the day. I don't have a lot of anything planned because I had a high school reunion, my very first that I've ever attended yesterday. That was fun. It was super hot. I sweated terribly. But it was great. I'm glad I went and participated in it and got to see some people I haven't seen in years. But yeah, so I'm gonna enjoy my day today, spend some time with the babies, as I already am, of course. But yeah, I'm tempted to take this baby for a walk. I really am. And if something fell, like a little piece of something fell on the hood of this. My Orbit baby system, I love it. But anyways, guys, there is Lola May. I hope you're enjoying your Sunday, and we will see you all very, very soon, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.